What's up, people? How are we doing, guys? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's gonna be a bit of a different periscope, this one. How you doing, man? This is legitimately gonna be a more serious conversation, so I am not one to dishonor the dead. Today's been good so far. Just finding out that Mr. Bourdain ended his life was pretty sobering, actually. I really liked Anthony Bourdain. For those of you who don't know, and maybe you guys don't know who he is. So Anthony Bourdain, he was a chef. He was, you could say he was a celebrity chef, but he was a man that had a lot of depth and breadth to him. He had been a very high-level chef in New York for years and years. He was a very hardcore drug user, very heavy drug user, very self-destructive as a man. Yeah, he embodied the quality of, let us say, like masculine self-destruction very well, and I say that in respect to him. He was a very intelligent guy. He had a lot of insight. His show, which I actually did catch a few episodes of. If you ever watched it, he would travel different parts of the world, and he really showed the connections and the spaces in between things, between the food that we consume and the culture that we live in, and how we live out our lives. He was very illuminating that way, in a way that was very unique. It was very unique. He had a very unique perspective on life. It was not simply a case of, here's what they eat in this place. It was not that at all. He really highlighted the connectivity and the transcendency of food and culture and human beings and virtue and vice, and it was really extraordinary. He was a very extraordinary person. It's that he's gone, and the world is a little less of a bright place. But what I kind of wanted to touch on, something of it was Bourdain, and like I said, this is not in disrespect to him. I'm not talking about him because, he was, he made shitty life choices and he done this, that. But Bourdain was a self-destructive guy. He definitely was. He seemed to despise U.S. culture, was more happy abroad. Yeah, you could definitely say that. He seemed to be a man without a place, definitely. For anyone that ever saw him speak, there was a lot of stuff he didn't like about the United States. There's a lot of things culture he didn't like. The past 2 years, he had been very, very, very anti-Trump. But even beyond that, he was very hell-bent. He'd gotten very vicious. And I say that as somebody that followed him and really liked him. I'm not going to say I looked up to him, but I really liked him. He had things about himself that I found very impressive and that would be worth emulating as a man. But he'd gotten very vicious, and he had a cycle of negativity that he definitely fed into. And what I bring up here is the fact that if you are a man and you have self-destructive tendencies, the relationships that you form with other people are always going to be fundamentally flawed. Because everyone that you encounter is a reflection of you. That's one thing that you have to pay attention to, that if you are a man and you're trying to get yourself together, mentally, you're trying to sort yourself out, there is a such thing as needing to isolate yourself. Bourdain, he had gone through a divorce. He'd gone through 2 divorces, actually. His second wife, there were signs that she had probably been unfaithful to him. And that would obviously be very devastating to anybody. If you're a man, you found out that your wife was unfaithful to you, or you suspected that she was. He had a schedule that definitely took him apart from his family immensely. And he said that was a definite factor in his second divorce. And then his last relationship, he was with Asia Argento. And Asia Argento I've always found fascinating as an individual, honestly. Again, I'm not one to disrespect people, but certainly as a human being, as a woman, she had a lot of demons herself, a lot of demons, and he had a lot of demons. He had a lot of things. Like when we talk about keeping our demons on a leash, his demons kind of led him. He was the one being pulled by them, it seemed, oftentimes. And with that doesn't mean he was a bad person. I'm not saying that at all. He had immense empathy. If you ever watched him interact with people, especially traveling abroad, he had immense empathy and connection with everyone that he encountered. So, like, he had love for human beings, but he also had a lot of hatred for people, and he had a lot of hate for himself. You don't try to, you don't do drugs that much and not have hatred for yourself on a certain level. But that last relationship he had with AJ Argento, I remember when he got together with her, seeing that, this is in the news, pop culture news, and that honestly made me uneasy, since she's a very self-destructive person, and he's a self-destructive person, and that's a time bomb. And I'm not saying that from a red pill, blue pill, what a beta. This goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. Your identity as a man, your sense of masculinity, your sense of wholeness as a man, that always has a gravity to it, whether you realize it or not. And who that brings into your life, they are a mirror to yourself. I thought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu would save him. I thought maybe it would too. It certainly, he really loved it, and it was an outlet for him and a way for him to express himself. But he had issues that were deeper and things that were beyond that. It goes beyond labels. Yeah, it definitely goes beyond labels. It goes way beyond labels. Yeah, as a man, as a human being, and you could say something for a woman, but we're talking about Mr. Bourdain, God rest his soul. But as a man, when you have a self-destructive way of being, and that is what leads you, and you are always being led by that, and always, in essence, running away from that, that will not take you to a good place. It doesn't. It's a terminal way of living. It is. There's no going around that. Once you're within that spiral of being, it keeps going down, and it goes down, and it goes down, and that's how it goes. And you saw that with Anthony when he would travel abroad. He was always running from something. He was running from himself in a way. He was always running from himself. And it made him fascinating. It made him absolutely fascinating. And it gave him perspective into parts of life that you never see. It gave him perspective on people that was entirely his own, that he shared with us very, very beautifully, I would say, in a way that, like I said, in a way that only he could share. And now he's gone. Yeah, and what ended him? He ended him. He ended himself. Someone commented on the fact that he had hanged himself. What is life? What is life? What does it mean to live? How is man brought into being? And God breathed the breath of life into man, and he was alive with a living spirit. Now, that's biblical, but I would say that's true. It is true. To breathe is to be alive. That says something about him, that's how he wanted to go out, where he didn't want to be filled with life anymore that way. That says a lot. That says a hell of a lot. Especially being as expressive as a person as he was. You have to. I'm not going to do the cliched thing where you have to say that seek help. You have to seek out help. You do need to seek out help. Hopefully, you seek out help if you are somebody that you are in a bad place. Yes, hopefully you do seek out help. But there's also a level to that you need to be able to help yourself, and I say that not in the essence that we should. I say that not in the sensibility of we should abandon people. And if you're not willing to help yourself, no one should help you. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But there's an aspect of being, an internal aspect of being, that you can seek out help externally. But internally, if you have a death wish, if you are living in such a way that you are seeking out a hell, because that's the only way that you're going to feel something, if you have a way of being about you where you are going to subsume yourself by vice, by drugs, by alcohol, by these substances that can narrow your life down to a single point of experience and block everything out, if you're living that way, that is something that is profoundly mindset, that's profoundly identity, that is deep in the psyche. That is your psyche, and that is your subconscious. That's the internal work. That there's no prescription for that. There's nothing I can say right now is if you just do this, then it will be cured of you. No, it's not that. This is a situation of the metaphor that you have to be able, or you have to be led, or you have to lead yourself somehow, some way to look into the mirror, and if what you see frightens you, you have to reconcile with it. You have to make peace with your shadow. Have to. Otherwise, that shadow will destroy you. It will absolutely, absolutely destroy you. You will end yourself. What about suicide? No, sorry, I'm not starting a controversy. Listen to it from the beginning. This is not. I'm not saying this to be controversial. Don't fucking put words in my mouth. Don't. But what about suicide? Suicide it's a lot of things, people. I don't. Again, I'm not. You guys know I'm a man of many perspectives. People that want to end their life, there is an appeal to that. Yeah, it's understandable. It's not nice. It's not nice, but it's understandable. You know, when the future of being, when the prospect of continuing to be alive is less than the idea of not having to live, that's a serious thing. You know, that's a grievance against the soul. I pray to God for every person that takes their life that they find in death what they did not have in life, and that they make that peace with God. Success and money doesn't equal happiness. No, it doesn't. There's a statement to that as well. There is something to that as well. It's true. You can be famous. We can have fame. You can have people know who you are. You can have money. You can have status. You can have these material things that, maybe we think they are spiritual things, but they're not. You can have the whole world know who you are, and you can still not have a soul, or your soul can still be in a war with itself. There are things within the human soul and the psyche that, if they are void, they will not be filled by anything. They will not, because there's nothing to fill them with. It is outside. It is outside of you. It's inside of you. We create our own voids in ourselves. We create our own voids in our souls. We create our own gaps. We create our own spaces. We make our own chasms. The cracks and the wounds that lie within us that way, that is self-inflicted. We separate ourselves out, we must bring ourselves back together. Now, once you separate yourself out that way, once you create those holes, you can look for everything you want. You can search for everything you want. You can look for anything that you think might be the substance to stop that up, to cease the bleeding. It won't work. It will not work. Outer universe, inner universe. Your inner universe, your inner world, the piece of that, that's here. It's not out here. That's here. The human soul, the human psyche, we are a containment of infinity. That is not an esoteric thing to say. Everything in the universe is made of the same things. We're all connected that way. We are. That's physical. That's physical and metaphysical. It's true. The carbon that we are made of is no different than the carbon from stars. We're containers of infinity. But that container that you're in, that boundary between you and everything else, what is within and what is outside, what is within comes first. And if the state of life within yourself is a dark place, darkness can only multiply itself. How do you deal with depression? depression on a certain level is physical. I'd make a very strong argument. I would make a very strong argument that it is physically based. Everything in the body's connected. He took his own life. He didn't want to deal with old age. But no, that's not why he took his life. That's not why. Do not say that again. That's not why. Depression is physical. Depression starts physical. Everything in the body's connected. Your gut health, your inflammatory, your levels of inflammation, your muscle biomes, your gut biome, your brain health, all of that is connected. Everything is connected. You cannot parse that out into pieces. So depression had the mental side of depression with the mental malaise. That's a symptom. That's not the root. That's a symptom. When you're trying to solve depression, if you truly want to cure yourself, cure somebody of it, you'd have to approach it holistically with both mind and body on the multiple levels. And then the spirit, the spirit being, how do you view yourself? It's self-perception. It's not just beliefs, it's self-perception. And then how do you view your body? It's all those things together. Everything is intertwined. That's why I've said it. It's your environment. It's what you eat. It's what you consume. It's your emotions that you feel. It's the emotions you get from other people. It's who you surround yourself with. It's your muscles. It's your bones. It's your blood. It's your nerves. It's all of that. All of that can create a depressed state. It's not any one thing. It's not just it's not your brain. It's not your brain chemicals. That's the last thing it is. That's the last thing. It's all the chemicals everywhere else. Now that you have more money and some fame, is your life better than it was? I don't have fame. I got Twitter popularity. Now that I have a financial livelihood and a profession that allows me to have a lifestyle that's comfortable, and I have eliminated the worry of money from my life, and my mindset's changed that way, yeah, my life is better. But my life isn't better because I'm popular. That's not how that works. I didn't seek out to create an online business because I wanted notoriety that way. But Bourdain didn't seek out to become famous because he wanted to be popular. And if you're looking for popularity to be a thing that brings you peace, you are looking in the wrong place. Lack of high testosterone lead to depression? Yeah, that definitely can. It's hormones. Obviously, that's definitely a contributing factor. 100%. Absolutely. What are your thoughts, guys? I just went on a soliloquy that I really didn't expect to go on. What do you all think? Call it like it is. That's not what get the fuck off this. Don't ever dishonor the dead. I'll tell all of you that right now. Last thing I will say to this: don't ever dishonor the dead. Don't. That is a vibration and a statement of self that you don't want to come back to you. When someone is dead, they are dead, and so shall they remain dead. Death is eternal, death is infinite, and your life is not. That goes, dishonoring the dead goes beyond being improprietous or being impolite or that not being nice. Spirit is eternal and infinite, and the soul is not that way, at least not in this realm. the expression of disrespect towards what is dead and who is dead and gone, I'm not going to call it karma, but I will say there is a consequence to that you will reap, and you will not like it, and it will be your fault. Don't. Fucking don't. Do you believe in our spirits continuing on after we're dead? There is something to the idea that the soul is finite. The soul is finite. And you could start arguing certain theological perspectives here that maybe that perhaps we have an immortal soul. An immortal spirit? I would say yes. I would say yes, because everything in the universe that has existed has a vibration and a frequency of existing. And once that is made, once that has formed, that does not end, it turns into something else. So that will go on forever. That does. Everything that you are now came from something else that existed prior to you. But what you are now has also existed for the first time ever. So there is finite within infinity. Those things both exist paradoxically together. Our lives are finite. What we are and the effects of our lives, that's infinite. How does soul differ from spirit? Spirit is what everything is made of. This is something of a... I mean, my perspective is going to be something of a... I'm not going to say universally religious perspective, but... Yeah, I mean, there's obviously argumentation to this. Yeah, what I'm sharing with you is is what I see. It's what I see. Everything is made of spirit. Everything is made of spirit. Everything is made of energy that way. So spirit isn't all things, and all things are of spirit. Spirit is the essence of life that way. It is the quality of what is alive and what has form and what is part of living. A soul is our consciousness. A soul is the human consciousness bound together with spirit within it. Entangled, yes. Unique in the assembly but made from infinite parts. Yes, exactly. That's an excellent way of saying it. The human soul is a finite construct made of infinite material. You could say it that way. Believe. Regarding your upcoming video series, I'm assuming me being 45 and still benefit. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, the video course. I'll answer that. I'll answer that in a bunch of questions. But yeah, the muscle building video course series. It's not a young man's course. That's going to be for everybody, male or female, young or old. Where very similar to the email I sent out. That's going to be first, second, third order foundation of here's the the hard facts of how the body works, how muscle works, all the things you need to know, and then what does that mean to actually training and developing yourself, making yourself stronger. Yeah, it's not going to be like a chest beater. Here's how to get bulked up, bro. Not going to be that at all. How do you increase our vibrational energy? You have to increase your vitality of life. Is love just chemical reactions much deeper? Love is deeper than that. Love is absolutely deeper than that. To reduce things down to brain chemicals, to even think that thought is to think... To say that statement is to say it with the very chemicals which create the statement within the brain itself. It is so reductionist and so limiting that people would entertain that as being a reasonable way to live and think and interact is diminishing to the miracle that is life itself. Apparently this ended up being a spiritual podcast. How do you reconcile asking for help and leading yourself into depression? Well, I don't know. It's not a reconciliation in the sense that it's one or the other. They're not mutually exclusive. It's not mutually exclusive. But I say that in the sensibility that it's always brought up whenever anyone commits suicide that if only they had sought out help, if only they had sought help. The help isn't always going to be the thing that saves them. That's not popular to say. I know it's not, but the help isn't going to be the thing that saves them. People save themselves. When someone has lost faith in their own salvation and redemption, there's not a lot you can do. And that's why telling someone that's depressed that approaching someone that's depressed from that angle of you're not always going to be depressed and there's light in the tunnel and we're going to help you the way you need. Most of it, mental health is not very good at helping people with depression that way. At least not the deep, certainly not the deep suicidal kind. That's very high, not high level. That's very intense subterranean work to do with somebody. So that's why these cursory statements of if only they had sought help and mental health awareness and we should all be aware. We need to be aware of ourselves. You need to be aware of yourself. Yeah, I would prefer a better world where rather than us telling mentally ill people that don't worry, we'll help you, I'd prefer a better world where we are self-aware and we are able to take care of ourselves before we get into that kind of state. Because once you're there, once you're in purgatory, once you're in some circle of hell, trying to pull somebody out of that, trying to walk them out, you have to be in hell yourself. How does one find the root cause when all you think was negative stuff? That's the thing. That's the thing. There's not a root cause. We like to think that there is. We like to think linear, that there's a consequence and another consequence, and there's an A and a B and a C and a D. There's not a root cause to those. You gotta be kidding me. There's not a root cause to those kinds of things. We like to think there is. We like to think there is. That there's a root cause. My guess is that something happened with his girlfriend. He was in love. No one that does that in love. Yeah. That was. I didn't want to speculate about that. But Argento had posted something, I guess, apparently the day before, alluding or openly stating "fuck everybody," and was wearing a shirt that looked like Bourdain's likeness. So she may have been the thing that pushed him over the edge, which is a sick thing to say, but there's the possibility. I think I was making that point earlier, but for all the gentlemen listening, a man speaking to men, if you've got demons, guys, that way, the woman that you are with, they're probably going to make them worse. You have to sort that stuff out yourself prior. Damaged guys attract damaged women. That's how that goes. And damaged people are not good for each other. Are not. Yeah, that's why I did make that point earlier. If you're a guy and you're going through stuff, you need to isolate yourself. A woman's not going to be the thing that saves you. She's not. A woman's not. That's a nice ideal to have. That's a nice story to tell yourself. A woman's not going to save you. If anything, she'll probably destroy you. A lot of men have killed themselves because of failed relationships. In that now, get out of it. Get out of it. A woman can be the best or worst thing that ever happens to you as a man. The best or the worst thing that ever happens to you. And which one is it? That depends on who you are. That depends on you. How come living for art brings us great happiness, but great artists often sad? Because when you're in pain, and you have a spectrum of feeling that attenuates you to the world that way, it gives you inspiration and it gives you creativity that you oftentimes wouldn't otherwise have. It's uncommon that artists are able to mature past that. It's uncommon. Not to say it's impossible, it's uncommon. Most people, their artistic instinct oftentimes is awakened by their torment. It's awakened by their torment, and it's awakened by the maelstrom and the chaos that lies within their own soul. That's what brings the artistic instinct and creationary instinct to life. So you develop a relationship with that. It's a loop. It's a strange loop. It goes back on itself. You become an artist because you are in pain, and you are in pain because you are an artist. And that keeps playing. It keeps playing. Do you think monk mode will make one depressed? No, that depends. That's too contextual to say. That's not a yes/no situation at all. If you're depressed and you feel lonely, making yourself more lonely isn't going to help. If you're depressed and you can be around people you love whom love you, and it still doesn't alleviate that shade that you feel, that's not the issue. People are not the issue that way. Where am I going? I'm going towards Los Angeles, and I'm drinking a Diet Coke. A clean version of your little brother's in the joint. Oh, that's unfortunate. I've been in the joint myself. Not for drugs, though. Any final thoughts, people, before I hop off this? Aspartame for the win, yes. Expressing the pain in a creative way helps tremendously. Well, when you express pain creatively, it helps you to transmute it. It's alchemy. Being an artist is, you are an alchemist. Alchemy is art, and art is alchemy. That's how that goes. But you can be a very good alchemist in that way, where you can take pain and turn it into something. But then you can be an addicted alchemist in the sense that you are enthralled by being in pain. You're in the thrall of pain. You're in the thrall of your own darkness. And when that's what you use to fuel you, well, it's dark. That's dark alchemy in a way. It is. That's dark magic. It's not the kind of magic you want to deal in. Lifting and exercising can help a lot. Yeah, it definitely can. Yeah, for moderate, mild depression, exercise has been shown to be as effective or more effective than drugs and therapy. That's been proven out fairly concretely. You know, training is alchemy. Training is physical alchemy. You can take emotion, you can take fear, and you can put yourself in an environment where you can create and destroy yourself in equal measure, and in a constructive way, or a destructive way if you choose to. You know, there's always life and death side by side that way. Do you find it difficult to relate to male friends in this world? I don't get along with most people, not as a statement of superiority, but I don't have much in common with most people. I think about things on a different level. So, with that in a way, it excludes you or isolates you from being able to... It excludes you and isolates you from having relationships because you're not going to have much in common with most of the people that you encounter. And that's okay. That's what we have the internet for. That's what we have digital reality for. That's what we have Twitter for. I've been able to connect with people whom I share things with that I would not have otherwise met. So, alright. I gotta go, guys. Good talk. Love you all. Talk to you all again.